3, 2, 1. Let's get this party started. Knot addition. Knot addition. We're back at it again with the knots. This is, of course, some sort of KBF24 knots and braids fall 24-2. This is the knot addition lesson. This is the first one that introduces you to what mathematical knots are. You don't have to watch it if you don't want to, but you could. Where are you? There you are. So knots are pretty cool. They're basic things, and they can be added together, which is also pretty cool. Knots can be added together. However, we have to follow a simple rule. A simple rule. This simple rule is essentially this. If I take whatever knot, take an actual knot that we're going to use. It's good to get some utility drawing these things. That's pretty good. And then I take another knot that we enjoy quite a lot. If not the knot we enjoy the most, the trefoil knot. What I am allowed to do is connect them right here. Right. So in practical terms, then I would end up with a knot that went over like that, came around like that, around like that. Wrapped around something like that. Right, and that would be our final knot. This addition is totally okay and acceptable because it uses these external parts of the knot. If you're on this external section of the knot, you're going to be okay. What is not okay is to try and take some sort of internal section of the knot, like here, for example, and try to connect things over there. This sort of internal connection is not okay. This creation of additional crossings creates a complicated question that we have to ask ourselves. Do we place each of these above or below? And whatever answer we choose, it's going to change the outcome of our knot. So this is why we have to connect them externally, because if we create this additional passage over a knot, it changes the game. This also starts to explain why there's advanced mathematics in knots. This clearly can create a much more advanced set of problems if just the visual rearrangement of the knot can change whether or not we're able to add it. That means that certain knots may appear to be unable, you may add them together in a particular way, and blah, 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 blah. I'm getting ahead of myself. Just stay focused. Stay with the game. Okay. Moving on. After adding our knots, what other exciting things can we do? We can add the unknot to things. That's always exciting. What happens when we add the unknot to another knot? For those of you who remember, that's the unknot. So to redraw a simple trefoil again, there we go. If we take this and add it to our unknot, what we experience is something quite obvious. We actually just end up with another trefoil. That's pretty cool. The unknot is then something that we would call the additive knot identity. And it's the additive identity because when we add it, we get back the same thing, and that's the property of something called an identity. Identities are really basic and actually really common in mathematics, and especially in this sort of math that we're dealing with here. This is actually something called a group, but you know, we'll come back to that later. So, if a knot cannot be made by connecting simpler knots together, it is a prime knot. Consider the trefoil. The trefoil is the trefoil, right? The trefoil is the only prime knot, period, that exists in the universe. No, I'm kidding. Is the only prime knot with 3 crossings. However, there's a big asterisk here, and that asterisk is projections. So remember that for projections, we view the trefoil as the equivalent to any sort of knot copy of it that, say, has... here, I'll just make one extra twist. That has a slight variation. Oof, that was hard. But I got there. So this extra twist on our trefoil knot doesn't change the fact that it's the same knot. The one other thing that we have to be aware of is, of course, that these knots also have mirror copies. Prime knots have mirror copies. We can prove that using, of course, our friendly neighborhood trefoil. Let us construct our mirror like so. It hurts my brain a little bit every time I do this. This line here, I really duffed that up so hard. I'm gonna make it a little too symmetrical. There we go. That's pretty good. It looks pretty good. Okay, so prime knots have mirror copies. As you can see, this is not the same knot. It is the inverse. But this knot is also prime. We're going to consider this knot to be the same as that one. If it's a mirror copy, we can make it the same. This has an asterisk. Okay, for the sakes of primeness, we're going to make it the same, because this has a major asterisk on it. Because you'll notice that if we tie these 2 knots together, something crazy happens. They turn into the unknot. What? Is that true? You can double check this if you would like, but you'll notice that if we redraw it, like that, and like that, then I did a pretty terrible job here, but I'm trying so hard. Oh, I think this might actually work out really well. Or it's going to be super confusing. Either way, something good is going to happen here. This is the part of math that is more like art. Or maybe it's just my fault. Maybe I'm doing math wrong. Maybe math and art should not be the same. Somebody's wondering that right now. So, if I constructed this correctly... Oh my gosh, this hurts my brain so much. Then if I pass that whole thing... Okay, so when in doubt, draw your projection again, but better. 1, 2. We can do this. So let me see, first of all, under, over, under, sorry, over, under, over, under, over, under. Good. Okay, so that's working. At the very least, we drew the right trefoils. Is my brain just mashed? There had to do not inverses mirror copies produce the unknot. This just has to be the case if I'm not seeing it. It's just because I'm crazy. Which is very possible. And that's not supposed to go there. That's supposed to go there. Draws like the exact same thing. Okay, so this one is marginally superior. Let's see if I connect it up. So this loop pulls. There's normally just a clear untie. Is there an untie here that I'm just not familiar with? Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that should untie. This is a little confusing, but maybe if I redraw it like that will be a bit better. So this loop can pass down. Construction of a knot and its inverse, so it works. So the unknot did I accidentally duplicate the unknot? That would create an additional prime knot. But no, it looks pretty inverted to me. Okay, so let's try again, I guess. Yeah, okay. So take this bit through. I don't understand. This is a loop. I don't understand. Okay, so if I bring this loop over, the problem is I just never get anywhere. So pull on that loop. That loop times. But then there's no fruit in. I just taught lies. Sorry, this is a weird thing that happened in the middle of a educational video. A couple things going on there. Man, I'm feeling really bad. I taught this. This is fine, that's true. But that's fine, that's true. I taught this. This is just not true. I just physically demonstrated it. I added a not to an inverse. I'm not sure, not invariant sort of thing. I just looked it up. I got confused. I thought the braid inverse was a perfect analog over to knots, but I just wrong. Man, so sorry about that. Man, it hits me really hard. Hits me really hard when I feel like I taught something that was wrong. I know it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I'm correcting it. I'll tell all the students, but man, it really hits me. Okay. We can do this. Okay. So, This new video's come way longer than I expected. Holy smokes. The mirror construction of a knot does not create an inverse. We learned that together today. Knot projections are, however, still a thing, and knot addition does in fact function like this. And we have a number of beautiful examples of knot addition that I performed for you, except it's basically been the same thing over and over again, and even a physical analog. This is, of course, a physical trefoil knot, and you saw us add it together in our moment of panic. Yeah, don't know why I'm switching to R right now as my pronoun of choice. I guess just my identity is diffusing under pressure and confusion and sadness, and yeah. Ultimately, this really doesn't matter that much. I'm so sorry I got that one thing wrong. The rest of the stuff, as far as I know, is accurate. But yeah, definitely make mistakes. Super glad that I caught this at the very least at this stage. Yeah, I'll let all you know. Thank you so much for watching. What a crazy video, not exactly how I was planning on having it go. I hope you learned something. I definitely learned something. I think I probably am still going to have to post this one because that's life, and have a great day. Bye for now.